Well, I joined the Marine Corps because I thought I would actually get faster. I ran track, so I was trying to improve my track time. So since the Marine Corps is supposed to be the hardest branch, I joined it, and I actually got slower. My name is Wade Ellis. I was born May 12th, 1980. I joined December 26th, 1999.
Do you recall the first days that you were in the service?
Do I recall the first days I was in the service in boot camp?
Mm-hmm.
No, those were pretty much a blur because I hadn't slept. I was stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and we actually did tours in Iraq. Right after September 11th.
What was it like when you got to Iraq?
Sandy, hot, and miserable.
So, not too much different from Mobile, Alabama.
There you go. I was 0311, which is infantry.
Did you ever see combat while you were over there?
I did.
Were you ever injured, or were there many casualties?
I was never injured. We actually didn't lose anyone the first deployment, so I didn't stay in touch with my family very much. We just didn't. I mean, you'd write on back of an MRE sleeve and send it off as a postcard, but you know, it took time for you to get back to the States, and it took time to get back to you. So didn't talk to him very much while I was in.
So, what was the food like? Was it MREs all the time, or were you able to cook something?
It depended on what we were doing. If we were in Iraq, it was MREs all the time. We were always on the front line, so we didn't get very many hot meals. If we were actually doing training in another country or something, we'd have hot meals.
Were you ever low on supplies?
Yes.
How did you manage while you were low on supplies?
I just ate less. There's basically you're given so many MREs, and then if you eat them all at the start of it, then you don't have them for the end. Or a lot of times you end up picking out the stuff that you actually eat out of the MREs and then trade the rest. And if you got low on food, then you may trade something you have for something that someone else has. So.
Was there anything that you did for good luck?
Nope.
Was there any particularly humorous or unusual events? Did you ever pull any pranks or anything like that?
Oh yeah, we always pull pranks, which now is considered hazing, but there's always pranks going on.
What were some of the pranks that you pulled?
You'd have to turn off the camera for that one. I don't know. It's moving people at night when they're sleeping and moving to another area, kind of like you would do at camp, where you got someone you put on a floating piece of wood and stick them out in the middle of the lake. But instead of doing that, you take them out of a tent and then put them out in the middle of nowhere. So either that or put them close to the latrine.
What did you think of your officers?
Some of them were morons, but the majority of them were actually good guys that I'm actually still friends with now.
Did you ever keep a journal?
No, never did.
I know once a Marine, always a Marine, but I have to ask this question. Do you recall the day your service ended?
No, it never ended.
Good answer. What did you do in the days and weeks after you got back?
When we got back from Iraq, we were on stop loss, and so you could join the military, but you couldn't get out. And when we got back, they finally were letting people out. So as soon as I got back, I started doing my processing to get out of the Marine Corps. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I started going to school for a union operating engineers. I was going to training to be a crane operator. Did that for a while. Then I did industrial maintenance for a long time, and now I do home inspections.
Did your military experiences influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Yeah, it's a lot of people like to ridicule on way police handle situations nowadays, and military does things, but they don't have the actual experience of being there to know what actually goes through your mind during situations. So yeah, military definitely changed my view on things to where now if something happens, I know what it looks like in the perspective of that person and what it also looks like on the other side too. So
How did your service and experiences affect your life personally?
I think it was probably one of the best things I could have done. Uh, I grew up faster, um, got discipline, respect more than what I was raised to. I mean, I always had those when I was being raised, but it just instills into you a little bit more. So
How old were you when you joined?
I was 19 when I joined. For future generations, I think joining the military is a great thing to do. To actually fight for your country. Plus, it instills benefits and discipline that the generations that we have coming up now don't really have. Um, you get to see the world, you get to experience different cultures, different races. Uh, it's just overall, it's a good experience. I think the majority of people that join the military come out as a better person. I would definitely encourage anyone that's of age that is thinking about it to definitely consider it real good and hard and join the military. Marine Corps is the best branch, of course, but the other branches aren't half bad. And
Were there
I'm saying this because everyone in my family was Navy. I was the only Marine, so I know from experience.
were there any encounters with wildlife that you had while in Iraq?
Uh, there's quite a few encounters with dogs. Uh, that will scare you really quick. We had camel encounters where a big herd of camels would run out in front of your Humvee or walk up on you while you're trying to sleep, and then you always had the nice camel spiders that you'd grab and find some scorpions and fight them against each other. PETA's going to love that one.
I've heard a story or two about camel spiders.
Yeah, when we were actually in Kenya doing some training with them, they actually have what's called a honeydew spider. And it's a spider, but it's got big pinchers on it that look like an ant pinchers. And we were getting those and scorpions and fighting those. And then one of the corpsmen came around and was like, hey, you do realize it's one of the most dangerous spiders in this area? Probably shouldn't play with those. Didn't stop. They, and then, heck, even with Kenya, we also had baboons that would roam up close to you. And then there was a lion that got loose around the area where we're at. So fun times.
You said you had baboons close to where you were. Did they ever steal anything?
No, no, not that I know of, or at least they never stole anything of mine.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Again, the Marine Corps is the best branch to join. It's the only branch.